What's going on, people? Kenneth Rodriguez, what WTF, what the frame on Geek Hotfix. Today we're gonna play a little bit of Warframe, but I'm not gonna be talking about Warframe. I'm gonna be talking about something else. Let me log in here real quick. Here we go.
You have returned.
I got 20% off on my next platinum purchase, so that's not bad. Not bad. Sometimes you get some of those. You get a 20, you get a 50% off, 70% off. If you hit the 70% off, buy platinum. So we're just gonna claim it. We're not gonna use it. I got some messages here, but here we go. I still have to level up Valkyr, and mess is still there, but we're not. While I'll be playing Warframe, I'm not gonna be talking about Warframe on this video. We're gonna be talking maybe about two things. One is gonna be Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and the other one is gonna be Justice League Zack Snyder Cut, and what one correlates to the other. So let me just go in so I can start leveling up. While we talk about Sonic the Hedgehog, it came out February 14th, Valentine's Day, and it has gotten good reviews and good word of mouth and whatnot. And I went to see it last Tuesday, and actually the movie was really good, given the material that it is. I still prefer the Pokemon one, the Detective Pikachu one. I preferred that one over Sonic, but it's a good entry on a movie based on a video game, especially one that it's like cartoony characters, right? The plot wasn't, nothing to write home about, but it was still entertaining. I believe that Jim Carrey did an amazing job as Dr. Robotnik. I would say he went back to his Ace Ventura level of acting, which was good. It was needed. He needed to be goofy, and he was goofy. And the movie was better because of him. Great CGI work done. And if you remember the first design, the first trailer for Sonic wasn't received that well. The design was horrible. It had too many human features, and the internet went into an uproar because that's not my Sonic, right? Not my Sonic. And he looked awful. He literally looked awful. The design was awful. I don't know how they even approved it. I still believe that it was part of the plan to show a bad design and then go back and fix it after the movie was done to see customer reactions and whatnot around the design. To see if they wanted a more realistic Sonic or a more cartoony version, right? That being said, the design that we get, because everyone complained about it, is the superior design. The one that it's in the movie right now. It's not Detective Pikachu level of cuteness or realism or cartoonness or a cartoon making it look like it's real, because I still believe that Bulbasaur looked too plasticky on Detective Pikachu. Even though Pikachu looked amazing, Pikachu looked like a furball. It looked like an animal that would assist. But some of the other Pokemons looked plasticky, and like Mewtwo looked plasticky, Bulbasaur looked plasticky. They didn't look as real as Pikachu. But Sonic, he looked real enough and cartoon enough to make it work. They got some echidnas at the beginning of the movie, like Knuckles. and they look really, really good. Like the the Sonic world looks really good, really well made. Um, and then you get the real world, right? So um, the movie itself is it's actually enjoyable. I liked it. Uh, I liked it. I liked it well enough to be able to watch the whole thing, right? Um, it's I would say one of the best movies based on a video game. Again, I still enjoyed Detective Pikachu better, but Sonic is a solid second place, I would say, because I'm not gonna count Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat didn't age well, and probably Sonic is not gonna age well, and Pikachu. But as far as I know, that has to be said in about 5 years. So good movie. Um, I'm 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 gonna be recommending it. You should go watch Sonic the Hedgehog, especially if you have kids. It's a family friendly movie, and it's enjoyable. It's entertaining. It's a really good movie. I love the ending. There's some jokes that don't land too well, but some of them are really funny. So I'm gonna come and get you. I was here. Anyways, so the other thing we were gonna talk about is Zack Snyder's Justice League, like the Snyder Cut. A lot of people want it. I myself, I'm a Superman fan through and through, right? That's my favorite superhero, and I believe that Justice League movie that we got, it's not what we should have gotten. It's not. We should have gotten Zack Snyder's versions, the one he's been working for since Man of Steel. He's the one that cast Jason Momoa's Aquaman. He's the one that casts Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, even though a lot of people complained that she was too skinny, blah blah blah. So we know that all these characters came into being because of Zack Snyder, because of his vision. He had like a whole plan, right? Unlike Disney and their Star Wars, which clearly they didn't have a plan at all. He had a plan, and it was taken away from him by executives. Then Josh Whedon did some reshoots that didn't even need it to be done. He wanted, probably because of Warner Brothers wanted a shorter version of the movie. So a shorter version means more views and like more theater showings, which means more money. Theaters basically don't make money out of showing movies. They make money out of concessions. And the more showings, the more money it would have gone to Warner Brothers, right? And to that point, Marvel showed Warner Brothers that a 3-hour long movie can make $1 billion with Avengers, right? The thing is, Zack Snyder had a vision, and that vision was corrupted by the executives over at Warner Brothers, which decided to get Josh Whedon to fix it, quote unquote, which he actually made it bad. The movie is a bad rendition of a Zack Snyder movie. What does Sonic has to do with this? Well, a lot of people complain about Sonic's design, right? The internet went ablaze when they showed that first design, and the studio, Paramount, went back to the drawing board because of consumers. They said, we're not going to watch this movie because that Sonic is not my Sonic. It's an awful rendition of Sonic And if you guys don't fix it, we're not gonna watch the movie. And Paramount heard those cries, right? Paramount said, you know what? Let's go to the drawing board. We're gonna release this movie in a couple of months. Give us some time. The FX team is gonna go back to the drawing board. They're gonna, redesign Sonic, and they did. And the movie is good. It's worth it. I felt like I needed to go watch it because I was one of those people complaining about it. So it was only fair that Paramount heard us. So we go and watch the movie. Excuse me. That's just fair. And that's why I went and watched the movie, and I enjoyed it a lot. So the Snyder Cut has been ongoing since Justice League came out. Everyone knows there's a Snyder Cut. Zack Snyder has also confirmed that there's a Snyder Cut. And to what extent it's finalized VFX, we don't know, because again, we haven't watched it. But I don't think that it will take $100 million to finish the visual effects. I believe that those visual effects are practically done. They just need finessing, color correction and stuff like that. That's all it needs. So the Snyder Cut fandom, let's call it that, has been very vocal about it. Recently, all the actors like Jason Momoa, Ben Affleck, they have, tweeted about release the Snyder Cut. I believe that the studio should release the Snyder Cut because it was the superior version. Even if it's just on HBO Max, they should, which that's the rumor now, that HBO Max is gonna have the director's cut of Justice League. And if that's the case, I'm gonna subscribe to HBO Max just so I can watch that movie. And I know a lot of people will do the same thing. Sonic the Hedgehog proved to studios that if you listen to the fan base, they will have your back. Sonic is making money. Estimated $85 million budget. I believe that's including the redesign. $85 million budget. And they're already running in 1 week, less than 1 week. It's up to 125 million, I believe. Upwards of that. So literally, people have shown that if you listen to the fan base will respond in kind. So Warner Brothers, what we want you is to release the Snyder Cut. I actually started playing the lottery. So if I win the lottery, I'll pay for the visual effects to be finished. Warner Brothers doesn't have to pay it. I'll pay for it. It's at $100 million. If I win the 500 million lottery, 100 million are gonna go towards the Snyder Cut. I'll pay for the visual effects. The movie needs to be shown. It was Zack Snyder vision. I know that other movies have released director's cut that change the whole thing. One example, it's Blade Runner. Blade Runner had 3 different director cuts, right? Like the theatrical cut, right? Then you have one where the ending is changed, where Deckard, it's just a voiceover of Deckard talking, which it even sounds like he didn't even want to do it. He's just driving away with the prostitute. Let's call it that. Um, and then you have the one that ends with the unicorn, which is the superior version, which is the version they used to use as the the sequel takes this version as the definitive version, the one that ends with the unicorn running, right? So I know that Warner Brothers doesn't want to release it because then it changes everything. It changes that. Okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. There's a lot of stuff that was supposed to be in Justice League, right? Darkseid was supposed to show up in the beginning battle. Darkseid was supposed to fight Ares. The fight was supposed to be longer. Darkseid was supposed to show up at the end in a boom tube, right? He was supposed to be shown and his army and everything, right? The beginning wasn't the part with Batman and the Parademon. It was a darker version. Like people were being turned into parademons. There was a scene about that. There's a ton of scenes, and you can see them in the first trailers, especially the scene where Superman, he says, so that means he said yes, and he's talking about the ring in Lewis's head, right? There's a lot of stuff that we know made the movie better. They added stuff. Josh Whedon added stuff. Added comedy that wasn't needed. It wasn't warranted. It didn't need to be funny. It didn't. We're watching a DC movie, not a Marvel movie. They tried to make a Marvel movie. The guy who made the Avengers was the guy who they brought in. Like, that's not DC. That's not the characters DC makes, even in the comic books. They're not happy to go characters. They're darker characters. To the point where they didn't let Zack Snyder finish his main line. Like, it wasn't supposed to be just one Justice League movie. It was supposed to be two of them, right? He had more than enough material to do 3 or 4 of them. But, for example, Darkseid was going to show up. They were not going to fight him because that would have been Justice League 2 after Aquaman. Like, they were going to fight Steppenwolf still. And Steppenwolf was going to be decapitated, apparently. And then, like, the head would have rolled over to, like, Darkseid's feet. And that's when you see Darkseid. And you're like, oh, my God. Can't wait for the next one, right? They butchered that storyline. And now that a lot of people want to see that. They want to see that. That's why the release the Snyder Cut movement started. And they've been going strong. They have, amassed a lot of money towards suicide prevention. And Zack Snyder has been more vocal now than ever, showing like more pictures. He went back to Twitter. He was in Vero only, but now he went back to Twitter to tweet some stuff. Jason Momoa said that he watched the Snyder Cut. To what extent, again, the visual effects are done, we don't know. Um, but Zack Snyder has, okay, we're leaving. Zack Snyder has a Snyder Cut, and we want to watch it. So the same way that he did Watchmen, he had a director's cut. Watchmen is one of my favorite superhero movies ever. Um, and he had, he made a 3.5 hour long movie where you didn't have to introduce characters in their own movies. Every character was shining in their own role, and you get a movie from beginning to end with a great storyline, right? Yes, it's based on the graphic novel, and it's basically the same story. But he wanted to do that a little bit bigger, and that's why he had Man of Steel, then Batman versus Superman, then Justice League 1, then Justice League 2. Maybe a Man of Steel 2 there in between. Maybe. We don't know. But Warner Brothers needs to release the Snyder Cut. Be it HBO Max and then a soft, 4K Blu-ray edition or whatever. I for one, I have not bought Justice League because I want the Zack Snyder cut. I for one will buy it in a heartbeat if they announce it. I will be pre-ordering it. Maybe what Warner Brothers needs to do is do a campaign, not a Kickstarter, but something like Kickstarter. Hey, if pre-orders reach a certain number, let's say if pre-orders reach 20 million or 20 million orders, right? Or whatever, they set a number. We will release it. And I can bet you that number is going to be hit in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Because people want to see Zack Snyder's version of Justice League. When he releases Army of Darkness, that's the name of his new zombie movie for Netflix. When he releases that, he's gonna show that he still has a fan base. He still can make great movies, and that his vision was taken away and butchered because executives only wanted more money. They were scared that the movie was gonna tank because Marvel movies are making so much more money. Yes, to a point, Happy Go movies make more money, right? Because they're fun. But just because you make a movie brighter and more colorful doesn't make the movie better. Case in point, Birds of Prey. Watched it. I enjoyed it. It's I would say the closest thing to a Deadpool movie with DC characters, but still, even though it's colorful, jokes don't land well because of writing. It's a writing and directing. Just because you have Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn doesn't mean the movie is gonna make billions of dollars. And no, don't start saying that it's because of social justice warriors and their agenda, because actually the movie doesn't push any agenda. I don't know why they even would mention it, because I don't know what movie they said they watched or film, because that's not the case. Like, this is not a movie to empower women. This is a movie about powerful women. Two different things. But yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog, really good movie. Shows to studio executives that if you listen to your customers, they will reply in kind. And to Warner Brothers, this is a lesson that you should learn and release the Snyder Cut. Just release the Snyder Cut. A lot of people will watch it. You guys, like, movie studios release bad movies all the time just to hit a demographic, right? So you know what? Hit this demographic. The demographic is the people who want to watch Zack Snyder's version of Justice League. The real version of Justice League. The one that we wanted to watch since Man of Steel. That's why we watched Batman vs. Superman. Because it was going to lead towards Zack Snyder's Justice League. The one that you should be releasing to appease the fans. Again, there's tons of movies that get released by studios which are pieces of like garbage. It's just garbage. Ghostbusters, garbage. Like Charlie's Angels, garbage. And it's not because it's women. Like it's not a social justice warrior agenda that's making this movie bad. No, it's just a bad movie. Captain Marvel, horrible movie. And it's a Marvel movie. Horrible. I hated that movie so much. Horrible acting. But you know what? It made money because it was leading up to another movie. It was leading up towards the Avengers. So that's what I wanted to say today in WTF What the Frame. I wanted to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog, the hashtag release the Snyder Cut movement, which is still going strong, and it's gonna get stronger every single day. And I think that the studio should release the Snyder Cut. Let us watch it. You don't have, like, the studio doesn't have to release the movie in theaters. We don't care if it's in theaters or through a streaming service like HBO Max, or just release it as a timed Blu-ray 4K Blu-ray release. You know, you get the Justice League Whedon version, and then you get the Snyder Cut, right? The $40, I'll pay 50. I want to watch that movie, even if it's not finished. I still want to watch that movie because it was Zack Snyder's vision, the one that started the DC cinematic universe, right? Which is still going strong. Aquaman was based on that same universe. Wonder Woman is based on that universe, and Wonder Woman 1984 will be based on that universe. Birds of Prey, it's based on that universe. Suicide Squad, it's based on that universe. Shazam is based on that universe. It's all Zack Snyder's universe, and we just want to watch the real Justice League, which is the Snyder Cut. Kenneth Rodriguez, WTF What the Frame on Geek Hotfix. If you like this video, please subscribe. Every week I'm going to be making videos, and I have said this before, most of them are going to be about Warframe, but some of them are going to be like this one, where we talk about something else. Have a great day, and see you on the next one.